Have you ever wondered what are the main causes of both happiness and unhappiness in this world? Expectations. Let's consider this question. In the US, are there too many expectations for children in school? The answer is yes. Expectations are very complex, and when expectations are set on children, it can go both ways. It can either bring negativity into a child's life, or it can bring positivity. Expectations do not only affect the children, but they also affect the parents, who are the one who impose these expectations upon them. So parents set expectations on their children because they have that desire for their children to succeed in life, so that children can survive on their own in this country. Okay, let's focus on how expectations in school can bring positivity into a child's life. The U.S. Department of Education presented the following in 2018. Setting high expectations and focusing on strengths allow parents and educators to view our students' thoughts and mindset capable of high achievements. So, setting high expectations are the main foundation into high achievements. The greater you expect, the greater you will accomplish. So Dr. Amber M. Northern wrote an article in 2022 in which she explains how the lowering students' expectations during COVID has affected students' learning and how many students are just not learning class content due to decline in expectations. As we can see, expectations are necessary for students' progression. So far, we have seen how expectations are fundamental to success, but then why is it that expectations can also bring negativity into a child's life? Okay, first of all, we have to understand that where there are expectations, there is also pressure. There are like a combo, and while pressure bringing negativity is pressure is just never good on children. KBC Kansas explained in an article from 2020 presented a research in which shows that academic stress leads to less well-being and increases likelihood of developing anxiety or depression. Additionally, students who have academic stress tend to do poorly in school. This only comes to show that unreachable expectations will only accumulate stress in the children mind and the child mind, and eventually it's gonna lead to mental breakdowns. An 2022 article from the website Succeed states that failure to meet the parental expectations often leads to younger developing a negative perception of life, which which leads to despair and suicidal thoughts. So, while some students can compete against pressure, others develop some mental breakdown, and this breakdown would eventually lead them to literally like die for not accomplishing their parents' expectations. Okay, let's now look at our third point, which would be the other side of the coin. Parents are also affected by their own expectations. They're affected by those expectations they set upon their children. So the Positive Psychology Foundation website shows in their 2011 article, based on the thought of accomplishment and how this feeling can make our lives happier and more joyful. So it basically says that when you feel accomplished, you're more likely to be happy and to feel joy. So for a parent, their greatest accomplishment in life is to see their child succeed. a parent will be happy just by knowing that their children can survive on their own. So PeopleMat's website explained in how in an article from 2015 explains what are the most toxic expectations on that a person can have. And basically this article explains that the worst most toxic expectations that a person could have are those that they set upon another person, because this only leads to a never-ending cycle of blame and complaints. Sadly, this is exactly what happens the most time with parents, because they set their own expectations upon their children, and when these expectations are not accomplished, there is only like blame between this relationship of parent and child. So, in simple words, parents can't help but set expectations on their children because they want them to succeed. But when these expectations are just out of reach, it can lead to to negatively affect both the life of a child and the life of the parent. The most important thing to consider about expectations is that reasonable expectations are necessary for students to succeed, and unrealistic expectations will only bring negativity. Let's restate our question. In the US, are there too many expectations set on children in school? Yes, but for good reasons. Parents only want the best for their children. It just was sometimes things can get out of hand, and it's we should understand that there is a thin line between realistic and unrealistic expectations, and when this line is crossed, it can lead to one's destructions, or even worse, it can lead to a child's destruction. Thank you.